Tensions spike dramatically as a U.S. warship sails near Scarborough Shoal, igniting a high-stakes standoff with China in the volatile waters of the South China Sea. The world's attention is drawn to this remote stretch of ocean, where the balance of power is being tested in real time. The USS John Finn, a formidable symbol of U.S. naval power and resolve, cuts through these contested waters with purpose, its presence impossible to ignore. Shadowed closely by Chinese Coast Guard and Navy ships, the destroyer's every move is watched, analyzed, and countered. The tension is palpable as both sides maneuver for advantage, neither willing to back down. Radio warnings crackle through the air. China's voice, stern and unyielding, demands the U.S. vessel leave what it claims as its sovereign territory. The U.S., equally resolute, responds by asserting the principle of freedom of navigation, insisting these are international waters open to all. The exchange is tense, each word a reminder of the stakes at play. This isn't just a routine patrol, it's a direct and deliberate challenge to China's sweeping maritime claims, a test of resolve that could have far-reaching consequences for the region and beyond. Scarborough Shoal, a flashpoint for years, sits within the Philippines' exclusive economic zone, yet is claimed by China as a strategic outpost. Its shallow reefs and rich fishing grounds have made it a focal point of international disputes, drawing in not just regional players but global powers as well. The world watches with bated breath as two superpowers test each other's resolve, every maneuver and countermove loaded with geopolitical risk. Newsrooms across the globe track the unfolding drama, analysts debate the implications, and governments quietly prepare for any outcome. For the Philippines, the shoal is more than a distant reef. It's a vital fishing ground that sustains local communities and livelihoods. Filipino fishermen have long relied on these waters, and their access is now caught in the crossfire of great power rivalry. For China, Scarborough Shoal represents a key piece in its broader quest for regional dominance and control over critical sea lanes. The shoal is a strategic outpost, a stepping stone in Beijing's vision of maritime power. The U.S. presence here signals unwavering support for its ally, the Philippines, and a clear rejection of China's expansive claims. It's a message to the world that the U.S. is committed to upholding international law and the freedom of the seas. The standoff is tense, the stakes impossibly high. A single misstep, a misunderstood signal, or an accidental collision could ignite a broader conflict, with consequences far beyond these waters. The powder keg is set, the world holds its breath, waiting to see if diplomacy or disaster will prevail. Every moment is fraught with uncertainty, every decision weighed against the risk of escalation. Scarborough Shoal is more than just rocks and reefs. It's a symbol of a global power struggle, a microcosm of the larger contest for influence in the Asia-Pacific. The question now hangs in the air. Who will blink first? Will cooler heads prevail, or will pride and ambition push the world closer to the brink? The answer to that question could shape not just the future of the South China Sea, but the entire region for generations to come. The USS John Finn's mission, a freedom of navigation operation within 12 nautical miles of Scarborough Shoal. China responds instantly. Massive Coast Guard ships move to intercept, attempting to block the U.S. destroyer's path. The two sides engage in a tense maritime dance, each trying to assert control without sparking open conflict. Scarborough Shoal, rich in fish and strategic value, is at the heart of the standoff. China has controlled access since 2012, but the U.S. operation challenges that grip, reassuring the Philippines and upholding international law. Radio exchanges are sharp, ships pass within dangerous proximity. One wrong move could trigger disaster, but the U.S. completes its patrol and withdraws. Message delivered. The encounter ends, but the rivalry intensifies. The South China Sea is a global artery. 1/3 of world trade flows through these waters. Disruption here would send shockwaves through the global economy, raising prices and causing shortages everywhere. Beneath the waves lie vast reserves of oil and gas, coveted by regional powers seeking energy security. The sea is also a lifeline for millions who depend on its rich fisheries. For China, control means security and power projection. For the U.S. and allies, it's about keeping sea lanes open and upholding international law. Whoever dominates the South China Sea shapes the balance of power in Asia and beyond. That's why the world cares. Scarborough Shoal's ownership is hotly contested. China cites ancient maps, the Philippines points to geography and modern law. China's 9-dash line claims most of the South China Sea, but the shoal is much closer to the Philippines. Filipino fishermen have relied on these waters for generations, but China's control since 2012 has shut them out. The 2012 standoff marked a turning point. China stayed. The Philippines lost access. Manila responded by taking China to international court, challenging the legality of the 9-dash line. The case set the stage for a legal showdown between a small nation and a superpower. Scarborough Shoal became a symbol of national pride, economic survival, and the struggle for international justice. The legal battle would have global repercussions. The USS John Finn's patrol was a calculated move, asserting that Scarborough Shoal's waters are international, not Chinese. The US coordinated with the Philippines, showing a united front and commitment to international law. China's response was immediate warships and Coast Guard vessels shadowed the US destroyer, issuing stern warnings and maneuvering aggressively. Beijing accused the US of violating sovereignty and destabilizing the region. These confrontations are risky. One miscalculation could escalate fast. The incident underscored the volatility of the South China Sea. The message neither side is backing down. At the heart of the dispute is UNCLOS, the global treaty governing the seas. The 2016 Hague Tribunal sided with the Philippines, ruling China's 9-dash line has no legal basis, and Scarborough Shoal is not entitled to a large exclusive zone. China rejected the ruling outright, ramping up its presence and building military outposts. The US conducts freedom of navigation operations to enforce the tribunal's principles and challenge China's defiance. For China, these patrols are provocations. For the US and allies, they're about upholding the rules. The legal order is at stake. If rules can be ignored, power decides everything. The South China Sea is a test of whether international law can stand up to might. The world is watching. The US Navy stands as a symbol of unmatched global reach and power, operating 11 massive aircraft carriers, a formidable fleet of advanced destroyers, and drawing on decades of combat and operational experience. Its ships and submarines patrol every ocean, ready to respond to crises or project American influence anywhere in the world at a moment's notice. Meanwhile, China's Navy has rapidly transformed, now boasting the world's largest fleet by ship count. With new aircraft carriers, state-of-the-art destroyers, and a growing arsenal of carrier-killer missiles, China is determined to close the technological gap and assert its maritime ambitions. The US Navy projects power far from home, maintaining a constant presence in distant waters and supporting allies across the globe, while China's Navy focuses on defending its own backyard, especially the waters near its coastline and vital trade routes. Their strategy is to keep rivals at bay, using layered defenses and frequent exercises to prepare for any threat. In a potential South China Sea conflict, the stakes would be incredibly high. The US holds the edge in cutting-edge technology, advanced radar, and a network of powerful allies ready to join in joint operations. But China's home advantage is significant, with powerful land-based missiles and dense coastal defenses that threaten any approaching fleet. Both sides possess unique strengths and critical vulnerabilities. Any direct clash would be costly, unpredictable, and could escalate rapidly, putting thousands of lives and billions of dollars of equipment at risk. The balance of power is delicate. Neither side truly wants open war, but both are preparing for every possibility, knowing that a single miscalculation could have devastating consequences. Both navies conduct constant training, readiness drills, and strategic planning, determined to be ready for whatever the future may bring. This intense naval rivalry is reshaping Asia's entire security landscape, forcing neighboring countries to reconsider their own strategies and alliances. The stakes are enormous. Control over the world's most vital shipping lanes and resources. The outcome remains uncertain, and the risks for both nations and the world are truly immense. While superpowers clash, Filipino fishermen pay the price. Scarborough Shoal was once their lifeline. Now, Chinese patrols block access, catches dwindle, and livelihoods vanish. Some risk dangerous confrontations, others abandon fishing altogether. The impact ripples through entire communities. Markets, mechanics, and families all suffer. Stories of fear, loss, and humiliation are common. The sea that once sustained them now brings only hardship. The dispute isn't just about territory. It's about survival for ordinary people. The fishermen feel abandoned, powerless against distant powers, Their struggle is a stark reminder. Geopolitics has a human cost. In the shadow of warships, their voices are often forgotten. They are the true victims of the South China Sea conflict. The South China Sea conflict is also a battle for global opinion. China's media paints it as defending historic rights. The US frames itself as upholding international law. Both sides use state media, press releases, and social platforms to sway audiences at home and abroad. Each incident is spun. One side's lawful patrol is the other's provocation. The information war deepens mistrust, hardens positions, and complicates diplomacy. The truth is often lost in the noise. The narrative battle is as fierce as the one at sea. The risk of miscalculation in the South China Sea is real. Tensions run high as rival warships maneuver dangerously close, each side wary of the other's next move. In such a volatile environment, even a single accident or misunderstanding could quickly escalate, potentially sparking a major conflict between nuclear powers with devastating consequences. Smaller nations find themselves caught in the crossfire, pressured to choose sides in a dispute they'd rather avoid, while their people worry about their livelihoods and safety. Meanwhile, the ongoing standoff distracts from urgent regional issues: piracy, rampant overfishing, and mounting environmental threats that endanger both marine life and coastal communities. Diplomacy is the only path to lasting peace, but it demands patience, trust, and genuine compromise. Initiatives like direct crisis hotlines and regular communication channels can help prevent misunderstandings from spiraling out of control. Establishing a binding code of conduct, agreed upon by all parties, could set clear rules and expectations, reducing the risk of dangerous incidents and building confidence. Regional cooperation is essential, not just for stability and prosperity, but also for protecting the environment and ensuring that the South China Sea remains open and safe for all. The stakes are truly global: open sea lanes, food security for millions, and the promise of peace for future generations all depend on wise choices made today. The alternative is grim: conflict, chaos, and unimaginable suffering for millions of innocent people who simply want to live in peace. Around the world, people hope that dialogue and negotiation will triumph over confrontation and hostility. The future of the South China Sea and the entire region depends on the choices we make now. Only through diplomacy can we secure a peaceful and prosperous tomorrow.